Welcome to Microsoft Teams for IT Essentials, our new series to help you implement Teams. In the next few minutes, I'll break down the core components of Teams, I'll walk you through the main considerations for deployment and rollout, and I'll share how you can have the level of control you want to manage Teams. Microsoft Teams is in 500,000 businesses or organizations today, including 91% of the Fortune 100. There are good reasons for this. As part of Microsoft 365, beyond transforming the way people communicate and work, Teams is built with you, the IT admin, in mind. It has the enterprise-class policies and security that you need and expect, as well as easy customization options to tailor the Teams experience to your users and your organization. In case you're new to Microsoft Teams, let me explain. Teams is your hub for teamwork. It brings together everything a team needs: chat and threaded conversations, online meetings with video conferencing, and content collaboration. On top of that, you can use it across all your devices. Meetings are also made simpler with Teams. Besides online meetings, Teams has an integrated calendar synced with Outlook, so you'll never miss a meeting. It supports HD video calls with multiple participants, desktop as well as mobile screen sharing, whiteboard sharing, and of course, rich calling experiences, where you can call other users in Teams or Skype for Business, or take advantage of optional PSTN calling integration. Teams was built with accessibility and inclusion in mind, spanning interface navigation, automatic real-time closed captioning, chat translations, high contrast display, immersive reader, and more. So those are some of the highlights of Microsoft Teams for users. But let's switch gears to the IT admin benefits, along with your options to customize, configure, and manage the service. One of the biggest benefits for IT admins is secure collaboration. We know shadow IT is a real challenge today. While users may innocently sign up to services as they explore ways to be more productive, this presents a problem for you in IT because of the lack of controls to protect the flow of business-critical data. All activities in Teams are logged and auditable. Teams has controls for e-discovery to perform content search and in-place holds. In addition, data loss prevention policies prevent sensitive information from being shared in the context of Teams, helping with the evolving needs of your users while ensuring that you have full control and manageability of information shared both internally and externally is where Microsoft Teams comes in. We've set out to create a solution that both you and your users will love. Now that you know its benefits, let me walk you through the basics for implementing Teams. To get the best experience, there are a few prerequisites. First, Teams is a cloud-based service. This means that users need to be connected to the internet. While we offer rich browser experiences, Teams also has clients for Windows and Mac, and Android and iOS mobile platforms. Second, you'll need to have deployed OneDrive, SharePoint Online, and Exchange Online as part of Microsoft 365. To understand why, let me explain how this works architecturally. In Microsoft Teams, user folders and files are stored in OneDrive. As you create a team, we automatically create a dedicated team site in SharePoint for managing the team's files and content. And as I touched on earlier, calendaring, chat, and contacts are integrated with Exchange Online and Outlook. One core benefit of these foundational services is the rich information protection, security, compliance, and audit controls of Microsoft 365, which you can explore in our security and compliance centers. So while not a prerequisite, it's worth mentioning that adding Microsoft Stream lights up the capability to record meetings and get transcriptions and closed captioning. That said, let's continue with the last of our prerequisites. Microsoft Teams integrates with your identity and access management system using Azure Active Directory. This allows you to control access and take advantage of multi-factor authentication and intelligent conditional access. In fact, it gives you unified identity and access management, whether users sit inside or outside of your organization's domain. Next, to get an optimal experience with Teams, your network must meet the network requirements for Office 365, which you can learn more about here at aka.ms/O365 network regs. Also, our Network Planner tool can help you calculate network requirements for deploying Teams, cloud voice, and a great audio-visual experience. As a Microsoft Teams admin, you have a broad set of management controls to govern services. Before you deploy Teams, there are a few best practices to help you get the control and management you need from the get-go. It's a good idea to clearly establish roles and responsibilities for configuring and managing Teams. This is a shared responsibility across IT, security and compliance stakeholders, and users. Here you'll want to think through admin and end-user privileges. If you have a larger IT team, You may want to assign different admin roles to perform specific tasks like team manager, help desk, or compliance roles. For users, you may want to govern who has the ability to create teams. Maybe that's an executive admin, managers, or everyone. Next, based on your security and compliance needs, organizational culture, or type of industry you're in, you need to think through the org-wide configuration settings that you want to implement. For example, based on regulatory or security needs, for external access, you can specify the domains of other organizations to either block or allow communication between their users and yours. Likewise, guest access to teams and channels can be configured to provide the right level of sharing and control. For example, you can limit screen sharing to protect sensitive information. Additionally, you can configure which cloud file sharing services, in addition to OneDrive, you want to allow so that you can make them available in the Teams File tab. Next, think about the core apps running in your business. These can be line of business apps such as your expense tool or HR systems, or other external apps like ticketing or dev tools. You can customize the team's experience and policies for your organization and even specific teams by choosing which apps and cloud services can be integrated. Beyond apps, you also need to think about the style of communication in your company. Teams offers a rich set of communication policies so that you can configure the user experience in alignment to your corporate standards and organizational culture. For example, you can turn GIFs on or off, or you can set up notifications based on user profile, location, and role, like turning on priority notifications for healthcare professionals or retail managers. We'll cover more on security and compliance control as part of our series. Once you've thought through and implemented your policies, you can start planning your team's rollout. Your strategy here will depend on where you're coming from. If you're making a fresh start with Teams, you are already set to configure, deploy, and roll out Teams. If you're coming from Skype for Business online or server, there are also coexistent modes that we support. And you have the option to configure hybrid connectivity between your on-premises environment and Microsoft 365. We will spend time on all these options as we progress through the series. And you can also learn more at aka.ms/rollout teams. Regardless of your starting point, there are common best practices that you should consider. As with any new service, it's always best to pilot first within IT or early adopters to get familiar with the user experience and collect feedback that will help inform your configuration and deployment decisions. If you don't want Teams enabled for all users, you can enable groups of users in the Microsoft 365 admin portal or use PowerShell. Okay, so now with Teams enabled, to kickstart adoption, you want to start creating your first teams to seed the experience for users. Your org chart may be a good place to start when defining which and how many teams to create. You can automate membership to teams so users know where to land. Then, as people begin to work on projects across organizational boundaries, users can create their own teams. For more convenience and deeper integration within your existing meetings infrastructure, you can integrate your phone systems with Teams to enable PSTN calling that allows you to use traditional phone numbers. The most immersive experience can be achieved with Microsoft Teams Room systems, which help you to deploy smart teleconference spaces. Lastly, do not leave user adoption strategies for the end. Start as early as the pilot. Speaking of which, let's move to user adoption, which is key for the success of Teams. With Teams deployed and your early adopter group established, another important aspect to drive adoption is getting executive sponsorship and consistent communication to your users, clearly stating why we are changing and what's new, better, and different for them. Plan on combining this with online and in-person training. Tips and resources for training can be found at aka.ms/Teams onboarding. So now let's talk about management. As adoption takes off, you can manage Teams with visibility into usage across channel and chat messages, calls and meetings, drill down into metrics by user, and get more granular reports with Power BI. This will help you measure the benefits of Teams, identify potential champions, and give you insights on where adoption may require further action. Additionally, to help you to manage Teams over time, we give you lifecycle management controls. For example, you can edit Teams, archive them, or delete them. You can also modify the privacy setting of an active team if needed. So that was a quick overview on Microsoft Teams for IT to help you plan, deploy, and roll out Teams for your organization. Don't forget to keep watching our series at aka.ms/Microsoft Teams for IT, as we cover topics such as general management, security and compliance, migrating from Skype for Business to Teams, user adoption, and more with accompanying how-to guidance. And if you haven't started yet, Try Microsoft Teams today. Thanks for watching.